Okay, hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite authors right now. In this video I also want to talk about my favorite books by these authors, why I love these authors, just stuff like that. I honestly, I have a bunch of vlogs to edit and I don't like editing vlogs at all, and I also have schoolwork to do, and if I try to do both at once, my computer gets really hot and makes like this most god-awful noise. So I figured I'll film a sit-down video, edit that, and then do the vlogs during spring break. You'd bet you didn't ask. Okay, so to start us off, I have, of course, my all-time favorite author. This one's pretty generic, pretty basic, but sometimes things are basic because they're good, not because they're boring, and that's Lynn Painter. I love Lynn Painter. I have read pretty much every single one of her books. The only books I haven't read by her would be her adult romances. I read 2 of them. I read The Love Wager, which I have a physical copy of, and Mr. Wrong Number. Definitely, I would say I'd like her young adult romances better. They have more of like that rom-com feel, but like with the emotional depth, whereas her adult romances, while they're still cute and funny and like sweet, they definitely feel more like the characters don't feel as deeply connected as I feel like they do in the young adult romances, but they're definitely still enjoyable and fun, and I probably will read the rest of them because they're nice palate cleansers. It's just not something that I find myself thinking about after reading, whereas her young adult books I literally never forget. As you can see, I have 2 copies of Betting on You because that one's my favorite. That book literally changed me. I've never related to a character as much as I relate to Charlie Sampson. So I will forever love Lynn Painter just for writing that book. I got an ARC for Fake Skating, and now I have the physical copy, which is so cool. I even filmed a reading vlog for it. And she also is just the sweetest woman ever. So, truthfully, I don't think there's anything not to love about Lynn Painter. So yeah, I guess that's the main reason why I love Lynn Painter, is because she's also just such a sweet person. Obviously, the first book I read by her was better than the movies. This is my original copy. I have another copy. It's the Barnes & Noble Special Edition that I actually bedazzled. This is my original one with all my original annotations. This is back in my highlighter phase when I couldn't highlight in a straight line to save my life. I literally read this book in like 7th or 8th grade. When it came out, it was so good. It is so good. And yeah, Liz and Wedge will always have a special place in my heart, although they're definitely not my favorite Lynn Painter couple. After that, I actually read her books in chronological order after that because I loved this book so much. I was just needed more. So that's why I have a hardcover of The Do-Over, because I bought it when it came out. Loved it. Thought it was phenomenal. Fell in love with Nick Stark. He is perfect. And before Fake Skating came out, he was my favorite Lynn Painter boyfriend. Like, for me personally. He was the most my type. I love that man so much. Then, of course, I read Betting on You. Fell in love, got obsessed. Even though I relate to Charlie Sampson the most, like, he's not my perfect boyfriend because he's me as a man, and that's just not my thing. I've always been more of like a opposite attract kind of girl myself, or like at least a little bit of a difference. I just don't think I could date someone super similar to me. But I love Bailey and Charlie so much. I could talk about them for hours. They will always have a special place in my heart. I've read Betting on You probably 5 times. I know everything about this book. Nobody loves Betting on You more than I do. Then, since Lynn Painter after that took a break from releasing YA romance, because, I mean, granted, Fake Dating came out, like, I think 2 years later. I think this came out in, like, 23 or 22. 2 or 3 years later. But to fill the void, I tried her young adult romances. Like I said, they don't have the same emotional depth. They're still fun. They're still cute. There's definitely a formula to it that I honestly feel like it doesn't stand out until you read a young adult romance or an adult romance of hers, where you can like see it. But they feel like rom-coms. They feel like you're watching a movie where you're entertained, but you probably won't rewatch it. You probably won't think about it after it's over. And of course, her most recent release, Fake Skating. Beautiful, amazing. Oh my god. Alec and Danny, I love them. I'm actually obsessed with them. Ugh, it's so good. Small town vibes. And one of my favorite things about Lynn Painter, and like having been a fan of hers for so long, and having read all of her books in chronological order of release, has been Oh, I don't have Nothing Like the Movies here because it's at my friend's house, but that one too. Has definitely been watching her writing style evolve and get better. Like, better than movies compared to this is there's such a difference in the writing, in how the plot develops and how the characters are developed, and that's genuinely been one of my favorite things about reading her books. I think it's so cool. I really love feeling like I grew up with an author, even though obviously she's a grown woman, I'm a teenage girl, but I really love like watching her evolve and all that. So yeah, Lynn Painter, very special place in my heart. I genuinely adore this woman with everything in me. Okay, I was gonna talk about another YA romance author, but for the sake of switching things up, we'll go for a different genre. My next favorite author, who I have read their entire backlist pretty much, is, damn it, is Miss Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Jennifer Lynn Barnes, as somebody who's not like a mystery reader like that, like I mostly read romance, contemporary fiction, nonfiction here and there. I'm just not a big mystery person. I love her books. I really like, oh my god. And I know obviously like they're mystery with a romance side plot, but I really think I would read this just for the mystery and like the friendship and the drama. Like they're so good. They're so good. These are my two favorite series by her. I do own the Inheritance games, but honestly I didn't love the Inheritance games. I liked it. I've read it. I haven't read all of it though. Like I read the first two. I read like half of the Final Gambit, but honestly it felt like I wasn't obsessed with it, so I never finished it. And then I haven't read any of the books she's released from that series since. But The Naturals, would read all of these again, even though I already know everything that happens. Genuinely read this entire series within like a week. I couldn't put it down. They're so fast paced, they're so fun. The relationships are so good. And I don't mean like the romantic relationships, I mean like the found family dynamic of these people. It's basically like teenagers in the FBI. This series I've heard is kind of underrated, so I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's basically like teenagers in the FBI. I've seen people compare it to, what the fuck is it called? It's like a really popular crime show. I don't know what it's called. What's it called? I've seen people compare it to Criminal Minds, and they'll be like, it's Criminal Minds, but if they're teenagers. I've never seen Criminal Minds. Like I said, mystery, suspense, murder, not really my thing. But if it is your thing, I think you'll like these because people say they're similar. And then we have the Debutante duology by her. These ones I just read kind of recently. I read them in 2025. Fucking love them. These were so good. Once again, read these within like a week. I had the first one, immediately went out and bought the second one, like before I even finished it, because I was like, what the fuck is happening? Plot twist was amazing. Like, it's so outlandish, the plot twist, but like not in a way where it's like, alright bro, like what the fuck are you talking about? Like it still makes sense and like there still is foreshadowing. It's just like, wow. You know, like even if, because a lot of these books, like I'll feel like I'll catch on to what the plot twist is gonna be. What?
You have Vanessa's Nintendo information? Vanessa's Nintendo.
Are you stupid?
You're Vanessa. You.
The couple times that I've guessed the plot twist, I haven't guessed it like to the full extent. Where I'm like, oh my god, I saw that coming, then you turn the page and you're like, excuse me? Huh? Who? And I really like that. A lot of people don't like that, but I just feel like that's kind of something to do with YA mystery. Like the plot twist is going to be a little bit outlandish. But I like it here because it makes sense. Like you can go back and you can be like, oh shit, like yeah, like you can see what she was thinking. So Jennifer Lynn Barnes, another love of mine. Okay, next, I actually have a surprising amount of fantasy authors in here, when truthfully I don't read that much fantasy. But when I do, to get me hooked on a fantasy series, like I will literally read everything that author's ever written because I don't read that much fantasy. So, another favorite author of mine, Marissa Meyer. Specifically because of the Lunar Chronicles. The first book I ever read by hers was Heartless, like most people. That's what she's most known for. Sobbed my eyes out. I read that book when I was 12 years old, I think, in like 7th grade. Literally bawled my little eyes out. And I loved every second of it. After that, I bought Renegade by her, but I wasn't, like I said, I'm not a huge fantasy reader. I was in like a fantasy mood, and I got the first book of the Lunar Chronicles, read that. I fucking loved it. I just read this series last year as well, I think, but it was like the beginning of last year. And again, literally read this all within like, it actually did, it took me kind of long because I was waiting on the fourth book because I really wanted to read it, like a physical copy of it. And I bought it used because I wanted like covers to match because they don't, these are like the old covers. So yeah, I didn't have it in like the actual used bookstore that I go to. But just know I read this pretty quickly, and I would have, honestly, I would have read this series in like a week if I had all the books on hand. I never got through Ferris. That's the only book I haven't read. Just because I felt so bad for the guy. I couldn't get through it. Like, it was making me like sick. But love her. I think her writing is great. I really enjoy her character development, like the way she builds up the world. It doesn't feel like I'm just being, it doesn't feel like she's info dumping. It's really one of those books where you're kind of learning as you go, which is what I prefer in fantasy. I know some people prefer to be info dumped on, and they just like to like get all the logistics out of the way and then move on to plot, or they can just like sort of flip back and be like, oh yeah, this is here, she calls this guy this. You know, I like to learn as I go, and I feel like she does a really great job of doing that. And it's very perfectly timed where you're not like, wait, what? Like, where she's like, there's nothing that I feel like she leaves out where you're just confused. I feel like she does a really good job of learning as you go, but then doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like, oh, we're going to the moon where people have superpowers. You know, it doesn't feel like it's like a little footnote where like you're being told this information. It just feels like, it's kind of like if you were, that's how I imagine it would feel like reading a fan fiction for like a fandom you're not a part of. Because in fan fiction, right, the world's pre-established, you're just kind of being thrown in it. It feels like that, where, or how I imagine that would feel, where you're reading it, you haven't seen these movies or read these books yet, but like everything's, they're talking about it as if you already know, and then you end up figuring it out like as you read. Because that was a bad explanation. But I hope you get what I'm saying, because I really love these books. Every single one of these books is so good. Look how long Winter is. I read this in like a day and a half. It was so, oh my god. Oh, I love you, Marissa Meyer. If you see this, I love you. You're a genius. Number 4 is going to be another YA romance author. I don't own all of her books. I have read all of her books, except for her very first series, and that is Miss Clara Nielsen. I've talked about her in some of my other videos, but she's a self-published author. There's really only 3 books of hers that I own physically, but I'm on her ARC team, so I've read all of her books on Kindle, and I'm gonna eventually get all of them. I'm just like working my way up to it. But she writes really sweet YA romances. No spice or anything. They're also relatively short, but they don't feel like rushed. It's definitely like her own little formula that I really feel like she has down, which I feel like is why I'm able to love her book so much, because it's not repetitive, but it's definitely a formula. Yeah, these 3 books are all a part of her Texting the Boy Band series, which is essentially based off of One Direction, and feels like you're reading One Direction fan fiction, but not the super corny kind, but like it's very nostalgic, which I love. But she does have series that aren't related to One Direction. She has a lot. Like, I really love her books so much. I would say, let's look, okay. My other favorite series by her is probably Parkhurst Prep, but I don't know. I don't know, because I really like her Hartwell Academy series that she's just finished. I don't know. I love her books, okay. She has a total of 5 series out now. 4 of which are complete, and then she has another one in the works that she just revealed today. She has Parkhurst Prep, Hartwell Academy, Texting the Boyfriend, Westwood Academy, and Port Lane romances. The Port Lane romances are the only ones that I have not read. Everything else I've read and have loved. And I'm really glad that I like her books, because I just feel like there's nothing worse than leaving a bad review on a self-published book where like you know the author's gonna see it. Because I really pride myself on giving honest reviews of books. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. That's only happened to me once where I haven't liked the book. And, it was awkward. I felt really bad. Okay, that's not the point of this video. Really glad that I love her books. I think you guys should check her out if that's something you're interested in. The Hartwell Academy series, I would definitely recommend reading these books, the Texting the Boy Band series first, because Hartwell Academy involved some of the band members' younger sisters, which I think is really cool and really fun. Yeah, I love Claire Nielsen. She's another author like Lynn Painter that is just also a very sweet person. Like, I've DM'd her a couple of times. On literally the first time I read her books, it was the first book of this series called Celebrities Don't Date Bookworms. It's right here. It was the first book of this series. I downloaded it on a Stuff Your Kindle day, and I DM'd her to tell her how much I loved it because I was like, this is actually amazing. Like, I never download books on Stuff Your Kindle day, really, but I really enjoyed this book, so I sent her a DM. Or no, I reviewed it. I reviewed the book on my Instagram, as I do, and like tagged the author as I do, and she actually saw it and she responded and she was like, thank you so much, like, this means the world to me. Check out Claire Nielsen, guys. Support self-published authors. Okay, I'm really struggling to pick which one of these other 4 authors should be my 5th author. My 5th favorite author, Kale Wather. I ignore my copy of The Summer Broken Rules. My dog chews it up. I don't want to talk about it. I haven't bought a new one. I really want to buy a new one. I just really can't justify buying a new one, even though it's actually unreadable now because he chewed off the words on several pages in the back of the book. But that's fine. Anyways, as you can see, I've read all of her books. I got an arc for The Summer of Second Chances that I think is already out. I'm pretty sure it like just came out or something like that. I think it just came out. She has another book releasing March 31st called We're a Bad Idea, right? That I'm really excited for. I love her books. I think that they're not on the same level of like soul touching that I would put Lynn Painter's YA romances. I just feel like hers are like, in general, they're longer. You get more attached to the characters and they're a bit more character driven, whereas her books are more romance driven, I feel. The first book I read by hers, like most people, and it's the one you probably know her by, if you don't know who I'm talking about right now, is The Summer Broken Rules. You probably recognize this cover from like 2022 Book Talk. This book, it was back in like peak tabbing era where I literally tabbed everything. So this book is so annotated. That's the other reason I want a new one, because all my annotations are in here. Like, I loved this book so much. I wrote on like every fucking page. Yeah, this is a very cute summer romance, and I really like the fact that she didn't, I like how realistic her characters are, I guess you could say. Especially the girls. Like, there's this moment in this book where the main character, Meredith, is like sort of given the choice of going, I think she was going to college, or she was like going to go travel, or go run off with Whit, the male main character. And she chose like the college. She showed like the personal journey and was like, we'll figure out us later, but I'm doing this for me. And I really like that because I there's nothing I hate more than like when the girl gives up her life plan to go be with this guy, you know, this spontaneous guy. So I really like that. After that, I read What Happens After Midnight. This, for a long time, was my favorite book of hers. I loved it. I literally thought about this book all the time. It's really cute. It all takes place over one night. It's like they're pulling a senior prank at their boarding school. The setting is really cool. And I just remember the first time I read it, I just thinking it was so unique because I'd never read anything like it. But then I found a new favorite book. Then this, to this day, I think is my favorite Kale Wather book. It's also her first book, which I think is really cool because that never happens. Like, where my favorite book by an author is their first book. I just really love the characters in this one. And that is Maybe Meant to Be, formerly titled If We Were Us. I don't know what it was about this book. I just really, really liked it. It's told from 2 different POVs, Sage and Charlie. They're like childhood best friends. Their whole family, both their families are really close. And they high-key think that they're soulmates. They think like they're gonna fall in love one day. It's like a big inside joke. Like, there's no real pressure on it. It's just like, wouldn't that be something? Because they're so close. Charlie has a twin brother who Sage is in love with, and Charlie's gay, and it's like a whole thing. And I really think it was so fun to read about, and I would definitely recommend this one. I love this. Literally, I will never forget the setting. I will never forget the characters. I think about this book all the time. Just going in order of how I read her books, which after that one, I've just been reading them in order of publication because she's been publishing a lot of books recently. So I read While We're Young. This one, although I did really like it, is probably my least favorite of her books, just because my favorite character was James, and I just feel like the other characters didn't fuck with James like I fuck with James. So like, It's not. I felt bad for James the whole time, and I was like, damn, like this is look. He's me. He's high-key me. But it was still cute. It's based off Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is one of my favorite movies. So I think that's really fun. It has these really great sprayed edges. I don't really have much to say about this. It's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Modernized. They're figuring out their issues. They're about to go off to college. Problems are being solved. Secrets are being revealed. Love is being pursued. It's a good time, all in all. Next, you have a First Time for Everything, which I bedazzled. I think it's so cute. This one, I really liked. In this one, you actually get cameos from Meredith and Whit from The Summer Broken Rules, which I thought was really cool. And then her most recent release of The Summer Second Chances is based off of the main girls from here. It's her best friend Connor. That's his book. And in there, you get cameos from not only Meredith and Whit, but also Sage, Nick, and Charlie, and Luke from this book, which is really cool. And even some of the characters from here are mentioned. So yeah, that one is really cool. And I love when authors have like a universe. Lynn Painter does that too, where like you'll get mentions about other characters. I love it so much because then I'm like reading, I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, wait, it's not the same one. And then like, yeah. So I really love that. And I did a reading walk on this one too. It was a love triangle-y situation, but honestly, I feel like the choice was always very clear, and it was never like a will they, won't they sort of a thing. It was just like a matter of when will they, which I feel like it's a love triangle done right. So yeah, that's Kale Wather for you. Love her, adore her. Okay, now for some of my honorable mentions. All of these authors, the only reason they're honorable mentions is because I haven't read all of their books yet, but I've loved every single one that I have read so far. So I haven't read all of them, so I don't feel like I can classify them into favorite authors just because like I don't know yet, but they're getting up there, and I can definitely see them becoming favorite authors, like must-read authors. This next author, honestly, I feel like people have probably been waiting to hear about because I love her, but haven't read all of her books, and that's Miss Emily Henry. I obviously thoroughly enjoy Emily Henry. I am, in fact, just like other girls. Her writing is phenomenal. Her characters are amazing. It's beautiful. I haven't even read Happy Place yet, though. And I haven't read Beach Read. And I haven't read Great Big Beautiful Life. And are those all of her books? I don't even know if those are all of her books. Like, I don't know enough about her. But every single one of her books I've read, I've given at least a 4 stars. I'm pretty sure they've all been 5, though, if I'm not mistaken. So there's that. I do love Emily Henry. My favorite book of hers is, I don't know. People Went on Vacation was the first one I read by her. Loved it. It might be Book Lovers. It's either Book Lovers or Funny Story. I don't know. Daphne was more relatable to me than Nora was, but they were like relatable in different ways. Like I don't know. But also like Charlie. But Miles is my favorite ever. I freaking adore Miles. Charlie's like objectively the best boyfriend, best husband material that I've read about from her. But like Miles is so my type, it's not even like, it's actually disgusting how much Miles is my type. So he's my favorite. I love Emily Henry though. I think she's such a queen. Another author who I would reread their books. That's honestly a big teller to me on if I can say that an author is one of my favorites, if I feel like I would go back and reread their books, if I have ever gone back and reread one of their books. Because for a long time I wasn't, actually no, I've always been a rereader, I'm not gonna lie. Even when like the only books I had were Stella Batts and Junie B. Jones, like I was always rereading that shit. And Pinkalicious, I reread every single Pinkalicious book like probably 20 times. Genuinely. So I've always been a rereader, and it's always been about like books I really enjoyed. Another reason why though she doesn't make like my top five is because I still feel like I'm a little bit young to fully appreciate her books. I feel like being an oldest daughter, being an older sister, you can just automatically relate to a lot of her FMCs. But I feel like I'm just a little bit young. Like, as a high schooler, I just feel like I'm not old enough to fully grasp what these characters are going through. and relate to the fullest extent. So I definitely think that as I become older, she will become more of like a auto-buy, auto-read author. And I probably will reread these once I get to like my 20s, because I can definitely see myself thinking like, wow, maybe I don't know, I could definitely see myself like thinking about these characters a lot, like maybe thinking about Nora more or Miles and being like, wow, maybe I should reread that book. Like maybe I can like see it differently. Even though I did really enjoy reading these books, I feel like that can bring them up to like that 6-star level, like something I think about every single day. Finally, another one whose sole reason they didn't make my top 5 is because I haven't read all their books. And honestly, she is true. I really think she's so talented, and that is Miss Jessa Hastings. I love her. Okay, I feel crazy saying that I love her books and I love her writing, because it genuinely took me like 3 months to read Magnolia Park, which is the longest it has ever taken me to read a book that I enjoyed. I don't know what it was about it. I just could not get through it. I couldn't. I don't know why. The only reason I finished it was because I switched to Kindle. I'm pretty sure. I think that's how I end up reading it. And usually that's a telltale sign that like I don't like a book. Because most of the time, right, I start a book with a physical copy, because I like to go out and buy books. So most of the time when I start a book, it's a physical copy. And if I'm not liking it, but like I don't want to DNF it, I'll switch to an ebook. If I don't like the ebook and I still want to give it another chance, I'll switch to the audiobook. And if I can't get through the audiobook, I have to DNF it because I'm not getting through it. Like, it's actually ridiculous. So it was really strange to me, because even the Kindle, it took me forever to get through it. But I love this book. And I'm only like halfway through Daisy Hates, and it took me like 3 tries to get into it. But not like to get into it because I liked it immediately, like the first time I picked it up. It just took me 3 tries to, I don't know, like make a good dent in it, to like want to, I don't know. I think her writing, it's just one of those things that's not an acquired taste per se, but something that you have to acclimate. That's something that you have to acclimate yourself to, because you, like, I don't know. I feel like jumping from like YA romance or like the stuff I'm more used to her writing, it doesn't work. Like, I feel like you need to have more of a, you need to acclimate yourself. I don't know how else to say it. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I feel like that's what you gotta do. But I love Jessa Hastings. She has like this way of putting such specific feelings that I didn't even know I felt into words. Then I read it and I'm like, that is a perfect way to put this one very specific thing that I felt this one very specific time years ago. Or, wow, I wish I read this a month ago when I was going through this, because this is literally that in words. And it's so amazing. She somehow manages to make you like really be in these characters' heads. She knows her characters so well that she makes you know her characters. Like, if she didn't have so many characters, I would be thinking this is like a self-insert thing, with just like how well these characters are not just developed, but like how much sense their inner monologue makes. And like, I really feel like when she's writing these books, like, she becomes these characters. Like, she does such a good job at like stepping into their shoes. And it's so brilliant because the characters are very different. Like, specifically these two, like Daisy and Magnolia, they're so very different. But reading like Daisy Hates versus Magnolia Parks, like, you could feel that. It really, they're also written in such a unique perspective where it's as if like the character is writing the book rather than you're in the character's head. I don't know how to, like, if you've read a Jessa Hastings book, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Like, the way they'll like make comments directly to you, like it's like they're writing the book, but not like they're writing their book. They're not like, hey readers, but it's like for the sake of the story, like, I'll add this part. Like, I don't know. It's so specific, and I love it. I am so obsessed with it. I've heard her other series is also phenomenal. So I do think I'll work my way to reading her entire backlist. I just haven't done it yet. But she is just an amazing writer. I don't think, even if like you don't like the plot of her story, like I just feel like she is objectively such an amazing writer that like there's no argument to be had about it. So there's that. Bro, like an hour later, this is what my fucking bed looks like. I hate filming book videos sometimes. Okay, well, that's it. Those are my favorite authors. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I recommended you an author that you maybe haven't heard about or inspired you to read more of an author's books. I hope you took something away from this video, is what I'm trying to say. Thank you for watching it. Thank you for listening to me yap about my favorite things. I hope you guys all have an amazing morning, afternoon, or night, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.